everyone, Jess here, and today I'm joined with Frank Stevens. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much.
Of course. So firstly, how are AI, data and extended reality already revolutionising aircraft maintenance practices? And how do you foresee this changing in the next 5 years, say?
Yeah, so I think that first of all, augmented reality is very helpful with what we're doing today because we can learn how to do things that without touching the aircraft, without physically being there. It gives us that ability to really learn from our mistakes. And that's not something we want to do on the aircraft. We want to do those mistakes, those time and efficiency calculations prior to going out to the airplane. So augmented reality allows us to do that. When we lace in AI, it helps us make decisions that in the past were too long, or maybe we didn't have enough data to make, or that we just needed assistance in order to make. So taking AI and lacing it into the process allows us to be able to really move faster and make firm decisions. I tend to think that in our reality today, the human is the inefficient side of the process, right? We tend to make mistakes. We tend to have emotions. With AI, it helps take those away. It helps us really generate good thought and follow through. And all of that is going to revolutionize what we're doing today. There's a good quote that says, and I'll paraphrase, it says, in order to understand the limits of possibility, we must explore the impossible. And today what we're doing was impossible 2 years ago, and tomorrow what we're doing is impossible today. So using these different tools is going to help aircraft maintenance really jump to a place where we take the human inefficiency out of the process.
Absolutely. And one of the ways that we're really seeing great development is with predictive maintenance and leveraging data to that effect. We know it has huge potential, but what are some of the challenges with using these systems?
Sure. So, data in aviation started with just the data collection and the FOQA, the flight operations quality data, and it's a mountain of data. And unless you part the clouds, you don't know it's there. So I think that's the first difficulty thing, is understanding that there is a mountain of data in front of us. And then making course corrections in order to not avoid the data, but really manipulate the data so we can make it through. That is probably the biggest hurdle that I see, is just that there's so much data that we almost become analysis paralysis. We don't know what to do because there's so much data available to us. This goes back to the previous comment. That's where machine learning and AI can really help us start to push the things out that we don't need to really understand, that we can take credit for those things. So the big challenge is just the overwhelming amount of data. I call it a red lollipop theory. Is you've given me now the data, a red lollipop, and now I want it redder, or I want it more cherry, or I want it to taste a little bit differently. So the more I get, the more I need, and so it's a very ravenous data collection and data consumption. So that's the challenge, is really slowing down a minute and saying, how do I part away the things that I don't need to see today, but I need to save them for the future?
Absolutely, and that's a really helpful analogy to picture it. And we know the digitalisation of these processes can really improve operational efficiency and the like, but what are some of the lesser known benefits?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, labor efficiency, or efficiency of everything, because I look at efficiency in two ways: operational efficiency and financial efficiency. And both of those, the data and the use of AI and machine learning, as I mentioned, is very helpful. But the lesser known things are simply making good decisions. We have a tendency to, again, as humans, make emotional decisions. And when we get deeper and deeper into the data, we tend to become more and more emotional and less analytical, because we're getting more and it's become compounding. So I think it takes away something that you don't need, and that is the emotion in the data. Really, there's a lot of really great things that we can do with the data with regards to efficiency. But as you mentioned, or as you questioned, there is a lot of little things that you get, and those little things compound into the bigger process. So when I think about the smallest thing, again, I think it removes the emotion from the data.
Absolutely, and like you say, removing the sort of human element as far as possible probably has a knock-forward effect when it comes to safety as well.
Yes, yeah. So again, being inefficient, we become unsafe at certain points, right? So Not that machines can take over the world, and not that I'm advocating that the AI is going to take away the maintenance personnel, the technician, because I don't think that's possible. We're always going to need technicians. We're always going to need maintenance personnel. Unlike in the future where we can have autonomous flight or less piloted flight, I don't think we're going to get there with technicians, because there are nuts and bolts that have to be removed. There are decisions that have to be made. A system will tell you what's wrong if you listen properly and recognize the data. And that's where I believe there's a difference between a mechanic and a technician. A mechanic says the valve is bad, I'm going to change the valve. The technician says to him or herself, what's telling me that the valve is bad? So he or she will go out to the airplane and interrogate the airplane, read the ones and zeros that are coming off the airplane, and say, oh, I'm going to make a very good, safe, and quality decision in order to move this airplane to its next airworthiness path.
So there's a balance to be struck between AI and data and the human element where they can complement each other.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I don't know where that balance is today, because we're still learning. And again, looking at the limits of impossibility or limits of possibility by exploring the impossible, I think what we believe today might be far out thought process in AI. Tomorrow is going to be something that is normal for us. And just like today, we're exploring AI to say, what can it do for us? And we're expecting an output, but we have to feed it. And the more we feed it, the better response that we get.
And it moves fast as well.
Yes, it's faster than us.
Fantastic. So thinking about the event here today, how do you think this helps to drive meaningful change in the industry?
Yeah, so walking around the event, I see a lot of great thinkers, and putting them together is the real, the not difficult part, but the ultimate challenge, is to take different people, different vendors, and say, what technology are you developing? What technology are you developing? Let's put those together and see how we can make a better technology by being together. We as an aviation industry have a tendency to always believe the issue is only me. And then you start talking to other people and you find that everybody, or a lot of people, have the same issue. So just sitting down and talking and saying, oh, I have a solution for your problem, and then somebody else says, oh, I have a solution for that problem, and you leap forward exponentially. So this event allows people to sit down and say, what's your solution? Oh, I have this problem, what's your solution? And let's develop that together.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing your insights today.
Thank you very much.